Hey, we're Neck of the Woods from Vancouver, BC, and you're watching
Bloodlines!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another fantastic episode of Bloodlines. And I can't believe this is really happening right now because I'm sitting next to Mr. Howard Jones of Light the Torch. Howard, how are you doing today?
Doing good.
You have something on your nose, by the way, Howard.
Oh, do it?
Yeah, now it's gone.
Oh,
there you go.
No, you should have left it there. That would have been funny.
We're actually here in St. Vitus in Brooklyn right now for the first ever show with Light the Torch. And we're going to go right into the questions. So, Revival obviously was released 4 months ago, and you've completely overhauled not only the band name, but also the persona of the music. Was there any change in the writing music since the departure of John Sankey, and for the new music now with the addition of your new drummer, Mike Scalera?
Yeah. I really don't know how to answer that. Yeah, I mean, we kind of changed everything. It just had to happen. So we just decided to write songs with a little more groove, a little more melody, a little more feeling. And it was just, things were changing so much, whether we wanted them to or not. We just decided, okay, we're going to just keep going with it. And so why keep doing the same music if we just had to change the band name? So for us, we're like, well, let's just switch everything.
It shows in your singles that you put out, before Revival was released, and there's been, it's tighter, it is groovier, it's fantastic music, it's a fantastic album. I, for one, have not stopped blasting it since it was released. Safety of Disbelief is one of my favorite songs of that entire album. And, it's, we go into specific songs, like Die Alone, The God I Deserve is another fantastic song. And, can you give us a backstory on the significance of those songs? And there's that ice machine again. It's always here at Vitus. Every time we do an interview here, it scares the crap out of us, both me and my camerawoman, Marissa Ann. But, can you give us some of the backstory on the significance of those songs and how the band worked together to execute the music the way each of you imagined it to be?
Wow, that sounds like it's much more complicated than it is.
It sounds complicated, but I have a funny feeling it's very simple.
Yeah. We were, I think we were doing the last tour as Devil You Know. And we were in the UK, and basically, Fran started dumping demos on me, and I started listening, and this was, I don't know, beginning of 2017, so January, and I just started weeding through songs then, and once the writing came, it just kind of had a feeling this was going to be a different album because we had been through so much. Mm-hmm. Just things had changed so drastically. It was just going to be a different album. There was no other way around it.
You guys sound completely different, and in all honesty, as compared to the Devil You Know albums that were released.
Yeah.
And so for me personally, as a fan of yours for years, to hear the transition of music from Devil You Know to Light the Torch, I can tell it's been a very phenomenal and almost complicated journey.
Yeah. It's been an interesting one. I didn't expect any of this. I mean, we had no clue that we were even going to continue doing anything. It was pretty bleak at times. And once the idea started coming, we just knew that we were going to do this one way or another. So that's
why the cogs kept rolling.
Yeah, we just quietly recorded the album just under the radar.
Yeah, it was quiet. I mean, considering the fact that a lot of news was about you working with King Fighter, and then you had songs with Dee Schneider recently on his album.
Yeah.
and that's all that's been in the news from you, and also working with reuniting with Killswitch Engage, and doing
and working with Crowbot too,
and working with
What's
Crowbot.
up, guys? There's a bunch of other stuff that's coming.
You've been in a lot of side projects as of recently until the album came out. It was like, okay, Howard is slowly coming back into the light, and then there's Revival, and it's like, oh shit, okay. And there's the big tamale right there.
It's just things changed, and it's hard to pinpoint exactly what it was, but it just did, and here we are. I enjoy my job again, and it took a while because without going in depth about just depression and all that, you can look all that stuff up. But just you have your ups and downs, but then like when you can focus, it's just good. And it took a while. I mean, it took years to get to this point, and still every day's rough, but I'm getting there.
Hey, but that's good though. You've trekked on, you continued, and I for one personally am happy to see that from you.
I don't think I had much choice. I don't.
I'm glad you feel that way.
I don't really do much else other than music. So.
Well, and speaking of the side projects, let's talk about King Fighter. I mean, that's if anybody knows what King Fighter is or has been living under a rock, Howard has been working with Peter Wickers of Soilwork, ex-Soilwork, excuse me. Can you say that there's a parallel between the upcoming music of King Fighter to Light the Torch? Were there some influences that powered each other for that?
Not really. I mean, there's a lot of melody in it, but it's a different vibe, and it is heavy. It's got groove and all that good stuff, but yeah, it's just a different vibe to it. And working with Peter has just been an absolute blast. It goes without saying, the man is just unbelievably talented, and he's just a great guy. So we've had a lot of fun, and also we've gotten into co-writing for other bands. We're working with a record label and writing for some of their newer bands. So and we've actually been writing for TV and movies, and
that's phenomenal.
And just the stuff that it's still kind of blowing my mind, the things that have happened. But yeah, honestly, we just enjoy writing together. So when I'm done on stage, that's what I'll be doing.
And you go right back to that.
Yeah, it's just I'll continue writing and just performing in other ways. But that's one of the things that Peter and I are doing, is just co-write. So yeah, if your band's looking for music, just send Peter a line.
It's
we'll see what we can do for you.
It's a smart decision. But I mean, speaking of music, any news on that upcoming single that's floating around?
Yeah, it's currently being mixed, and we'll see when the actual release date is. But yeah, it should be ready to go shortly. We're just gonna slowly release stuff since we're both kind of busy with everything we're doing. We're not pressed to put out the full album, so we'll just
of course
drop a song here or there, and then eventually we'll just go ahead and release it.
You have your whole year full for you too.
Yeah,
so,
it's going to be a little busy.
Yeah, just a smidge.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it because it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Now, you say fun. Do you also call it fun when you work with Jamie and Dee on their material? And
oh yeah,
is that now the thing I want to know, because I'm curious? Is that also part of King Fighter, or is that its own separate little monster?
That was a whole separate thing. Yeah.
Sorry, it would have been really kick-ass to see all of you guys together in one group.
I don't know. Just I kind of got fingers everywhere, but yeah, that was Jamie producing the D album, and I had got asked to get involved, and somehow I ended up writing and singing on it, and just getting to sing a song with that man is just amazing. Dee Snider's new album, For the Love of Metal. Get it. You will not regret this.
He pitched it, not me. See,
Just saying.
that's you've been quite busy, and it's only July. So that's the scary part. There's still half the year left, and it's like, okay, Howard's been quiet for a reason. That's it, Mr. Jones.
Well, the next month or two will be interesting.
You heard it first. And speaking of interesting things, back in April, it was announced that you teamed up with Jesse Leach and Killswitch Engage once again, to collaborate on a song about mental health awareness. Jesse even cited on social media that he had you in mind during the writing process for that song, and you're both involved with Hope for the Day, a well-known organization dedicated to mental health awareness and suicide prevention. Are there any plans for more involvement with Hope for the Day and similar organizations where you can, where your respective projects would tie into advocacy?
For me, I get involved with whatever I find interesting, and if I can make time for it, I'll do it. And I was very happy to be involved with that.
Yeah, you made an appearance at Small Bites of Hope recently over at Vandal in Manhattan. You were there. It showed in the photos in the recap.
Yeah, I had a great time, great cause, and do it again in a heartbeat. But yeah, it's just when you can give back, I don't want to sound corny, but it helps.
Please, just do it.
If you've gone through a bunch of crap and you're able to somehow kind of pull yourself out, and if you can help somebody get out of it,
you spread that wisdom to others.
Yeah, I mean, it's not always easy talking about this stuff. It can be exhausting. And especially if someone doesn't understand mental illness or depression and things of that nature, it's kind of like talking to a brick wall. But for those of you that know, it's just hang in there, and if you've gotten better, try and give it back a little. That's all.
And I wouldn't have put it any better myself. I mean,
it's an ongoing thing.
Of course, it's always going to be an
everyday
ongoing
thing. So anything helps. If it's real, it helps.
And to have you step in and make an appearance over there, I'm sure it meant a lot to the people that organized it, and it meant a lot to the fans too. I'm sure of it.
It was my pleasure. And the food was good too.
I have yet to try Vandal's food. It's on my to-do list for this year. Hopefully I can make it. Chris Santos. Anyway.
Shout out to Chris Santos.
There you go. Of course. Hi, Chris. And hi, Jesse.
Beauty in Essex.
Yeah. I know, yeah. Don't remind me. I know. Beauty in Essex is...
I got lucky enough to do East and West Coast, and they're just... Yeah.
That's right. He has his Vegas restaurant. Which one you like better?
Oh, no. The Beauty and Essex, that was in L.A.
Oh, that was in L.A.
Yeah.
My bad.
Different menus, different styles, I just like it. It was fun.
All right, so that means he's going to both. So he's probably going to fly out tomorrow to go have dinner there. Speaking of flying out, this is going to be the last question. And you're heading back on tour. Obviously, it's the first night for Light the Torch. You're going on tour with Guar, and then 3 months later, you're gonna hang out with Trivium and Avatar. By the way, they are playing at the Paramount in Huntington, New York, in October. Light the Torch will be there. So yeah, go to that show because it's a stacked lineup, and I love both Trivium and Avatar, and I love Light the Torch clearly. So, besides those two tours. Is it just going to be that for the rest of the year and maybe some little Salt Bay tidbits of music all over the place as you predicted?
Yeah, you'll see me bouncing around.
Be bouncing around?
Yeah. You'll see.
Yeah,
the band will, we'll be getting ready and doing our tour with Avatar and Trivium. Looking forward to it. This tour with Guard, it's going to be a blast. And in between then, just figuring out, next year, but I'll be around.
Nothing on the horizon for next year? Nothing you can't really...
It's all being mapped out. We're going to be busy.
Well, that's always good news.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and, on that note, I want to thank you for sitting on the big, comfy Vitus couch that has seen a lot of issues. The leather does look like it needs a lot of help, but I thank you
This
for
couch
sitting
looks
here.
sunburned.
I know, right? So, don't remind me, dude. We've hit a heat wave here in New York City. I wouldn't be surprised if they let this sucker out for a little bit and give him some air for like 3 days straight.
I can't imagine the things that have happened on this couch.
And we're gonna save that one for another interview. But Mr. Jones, thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure.
Not a problem.
And thank you for joining Bloodlines. If you have not picked up Revival, please do so. It's on Nuclear Blast Records, and that's correct because he made his face, so that's good. It's on Nuclear Blast. Pick it up right now. It's available everywhere, and catch them on tour with Guar coming to a city near you, and in around 2.5-3 months, catch them with Trivium and Avatar. And so, on that note, I'm Derek Soto. Shout out to my co-host Marissa Ann behind the cameras and the 1-2s, and of course, Mr. Howard Jones over here. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, man.
And have a great show tonight.
We shall give it our best.
You know what that means. Exactly. See you soon, guys.
Later.